Hello everybody, my name is Dwayne Massey and welcome back to my YouTube channel and my YouTube video entitled Team Cohesion Part 2. Lecture material that go along with this video can be found on my website www.masseyinstitute.com. If you want to stop this video at this point and download these materials, please do so. Go to the website, select the lecture material tab, select the title of this video, and print out the associated material. You can then follow along on it as the video progresses. You may restart the video when you are ready to do so. Let's go ahead and get started. In our previous video, we began to discuss team cohesion and cited perspectives of famous coaches and athletes related to the topic. We also laid the groundwork for our discussion today on the stages of group development, or how do you turn a group into a team? As we discussed last time, every team is a group, but not every group is a team. And as we discussed, we have a tendency to think that group development is this large, unfathomable, incomprehensible process. But actually, the team formation process is made up of distinct and identifiable stages at which a coach, leader, supervisor, or other significant individual can intervene in the group formation process to make it more likely a team culture will be developed. There are actually 4 stages of group development. In stage 1, members familiarize themselves with other group members. Members engage in social comparisons. They assess one another's strengths and weaknesses. I'm better than him, she's better than me, he and I are about the same. When I went to the University of Southern Mississippi on a football scholarship, there was another recruit in the freshman class that came to my attention immediately. We were very similar physically, with both of us being about the same size. I can remember going to a team function to introduce the new incoming freshman, and both of us standing across the patio just staring at each other, checking each other out, trying to size each other up. Because we both knew intuitively that we were going to be competitors and rivals our entire time together at the university. And that was definitely the case. Members evaluate whether they belong in the group. Do I even want to be here? Is this worth my time and expenditure of effort? Does being a part of this group align with my priorities? Could my time and effort be utilized better somewhere else? Interpersonal relationships are formed and initial roles are assigned. Coaches should develop strategies to facilitate group familiarity. And I've seen coaches and others in leadership positions be pretty creative and a little far out in this regard. I once had a professor in a business class I took have everyone form a circle with hands on the hips of the person in front of them. The professor then instructed the group to basically sit in each other's lap. Struck me as a little strange. So you have to be careful not to get carried away in that regard. Stage 2 is characterized by conflict. There's resistance to the group leader. There's the testing of limits. What can I get away with? What are the boundaries? When it comes to kids, they usually do the thing you told them not to do. Let's use a religious analogy. What did God tell Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden? You can do anything you want, just don't eat the forbidden fruit. What did Adam and Eve do? Of course they ate the forbidden fruit. And look what that got us. There is resistance to the control of the group, the demands placed on the individual by the aspect of being a part of that group. I'm an individual, by God. I want to do my own thing my own way. It is an aspect of human nature to resist having limitations placed on our behavior. There is a tendency to have interpersonal conflict between group members. This conflict has a tendency to be social in nature as people struggle for status and leadership positions within the hierarchy of the group. Although physical fights can and do occur as jockeying for preeminence within the group takes place. There is the establishment of routines. This includes how practices will be conducted and team rules. Coaches should communicate to athletes openly and objectively, identifying strengths and weaknesses of individual athletes, and clarifying the roles of team members and what is expected of them. Coaches should also communicate displeasure if hostilities become too excessive. This is the most critical and dangerous time in the group formation process. If too much animosity develops among teammates, it can prevent a team from having success or ever reaching its potential. I played on a team in high school that had great talent, but we were not successful because we fought against each other more than we fought against our opponents. Some hostility and conflict should be expected, tolerated, and allowed to run its course. It is a natural and necessary part of the process. But if the acrimony and rancor becomes too great, the coach needs to take steps to lower the temperature. In stage 3, hostility is replaced by solidarity and cooperation. Conflicts are resolved and a sense of unity is formed. Athletes begin to work together to reach common goals. True group cohesion is formed. Instead of competing for status or recognition, players strive for economy of effort and task effectiveness. Coaches can facilitate this process by praising team members for quality performance, effort, improvement, and unique contribution to team success. In stage 4, team members band together to channel their energies for team success. The focus is on problem solving. Group processes and relationships are focused on task completion. Structural issues are resolved. At this stage, it is difficult to change positions within the group. If you want to significantly change your standing or how you are viewed, it is often necessary to move on to a new group or a new organization. The old adage that no prophet is recognized in his own country applies here. This is because everybody knows you or thinks they know you. That's just Mary's boy, or that's just Bob's brother. They can only see you one way. Roles are well defined. The primary goal is winning, or it should be. Members are not threatened by teammates' success. They respect and appreciate the accomplishment of others. The adage, "It's amazing what you can accomplish when no one cares who gets the credit," applies in this case. Remember my teammate I told you about earlier, and the fact that we had a rivalry going throughout our college careers? At the end of the 20th century, everyone was coming up with these all-century teams and other lists to commemorate the occasion. My buddy made the all-century team at the University of Southern Mississippi. And there is a sign underneath the stadium at USM honoring this accomplishment. Surprisingly, the first time I saw this sign, I did not feel jealousy or resentment over his recognition, and still do not feel any resentment to this day. I am happy for my friend and take pride in his accomplishment. This, as coaches, is the mentality we hope our athletes will adopt. Does it assuage my ego to a certain extent that in my estimation I was playing at a higher level at the end of our college careers than my buddy? Yes. But of the two of us, there's no doubt he had the better college career. I did make the second team all-decade team for the 80s at USM. Hey, that's something. Coaches should avoid activities that promote intra-team competition and interpersonal aggression. Coaches should acknowledge players' special contributions. And a cooperative environment should be encouraged. This wraps up our discussion today on Team Cohesion Part 2. In conclusion, I hope something we said today was useful and had some relevance to you. Be on the lookout for my next video, which I hope to post in the relatively near future. Again, be sure to check out my webpage, www.masseyinstitute.com, of which I'm very proud. Additional information about sports psychology and the topics discussed can be found there. Also, if you like what you see today, be sure to subscribe to this channel. And be sure to leave comments, as I'm interested in what you think of these efforts. And as always, thank you so much for watching today.